Sranan Gold is focused on its Tapanahony project in Suriname, which covers 29,000 hectares, encompassing one of the largest artisanal mining areas in Suriname. The company just raised $8.5 million and on the cusp of starting its maiden drill program after spending months surveying and identifying its drill targets. CEO Oscar Louzada is here to tell us about SRAN and the assets and plans for the upcoming drill program. I'm Martin Gago with Market Radius Research. Please remember this is neither a recommendation nor investment advice. We're here to learn about the company. Oscar, great seeing you. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thank you, Martin. Thank you. So many know that Suriname obviously has its day in the sun currently. There are more and more juniors moving into Suriname. It's been one of those countries that has been overlooked for many years. Me and the team have been in Suriname for a very long time. I've been there for 13 years. Dennis Lapointe, the older member of the team, is there for 26 years. We've got various local geologists that we work with, and as a team, we've been behind many of the currently privately operating companies, but also various of the listed companies. It's not easy to find a decent project in Suriname, or I should say, it's not easy to find a project with enough work done on it to make it a saleable story for the capital markets. The country itself is a large producer. Unofficially, the numbers are about 1,000 kilos a month that are produced in Suriname. The two operational mines, the Zijin and Newmont, annually produce a bit over 600,000 ounces, and the rest is all artisanal. So there's a vast production going on. There's more and more juniors, as I said, moving in. We found this project well over a year ago. It's owned by a businessman in Suriname. He's been mining this himself for the last 5 or 6 years, and 29,000 hectares is quite a decent land package. So what we're going to do is we're going to follow up on some holes that were drilled by IAMGOLD in 2013, and we're going to follow up on all the artisanal work. There are 3 areas that we are going to start drilling. If you go on to slide 4, it gives you a bit of an overview of where we are in the country. So we're in the southern bit of Suriname. Founders is about 70 kilometers away from us, and Miata Metals, also listed on the CSE, is 40 kilometers away from us. So as we all know, Founders has been a great success. Miata is chipping away quite nicely. So that whole region looks like it's going to be opened up, or at least developed. We got this project middle of last year. We started to do some work privately. We started to structure the company, and towards October last year, we decided to go out and raise some money for it. We picked up some backing from Edmonton, from the Metals Group, who have been in Suriname before. They were the backers of Founders Metals. So they liked what they saw the geology, which is pretty much the same as what Miata has and what Founders has. And that's what got the company going in, as I said, October. In December, we raised $3 million to do some further work, shoot some LiDAR, and preparing for the drill program. So this is Tapanahony. You can see that there's a river running through the concession, which makes access to site quite good. It takes about 8 to 9 hours to get a boat from Albina, which is on the coast, to site. So the drill, the excavator, everything has been pontooned down using the local village of Buketi. We currently have about 26 people on site, of which 12 drillers. The rest is all geology and camp support, of which many of the local villages, Dritabatje and Buketi, are helping out also. So this is part of the data that we acquired. Before our partner bought this, or took the license out from the government, this project was owned by IAMGOLD. In the good old days, IAMGOLD did a lot of regional exploration. And this was one of the projects that they worked on. So a couple of the guys that are on our team now used to be at IAMGOLD and used to work on this property. So that's quite helpful. So with the deal came about $9 million worth of technical data, geophysics, sampling, auguring, drill data, everything, the whole package came with the acquisition of this project. What we did in December is we shot some LiDAR, and that interpretation came back, or the last interpretation came back in March of this year, and that uncovered a couple of interesting structures that we weren't able to see. So this here, the black outline, that's the concession. It's a total of 5 concessions, all next to one another. The panning, as you can see, the gold of the yellow dots is all the panning. There's currently about a 4.5 kilometer strike of mineralized zone. And on page 10, you can see the 3 pits that lie along that trend. So you've got the Randy pit. That's the one that has seen 4,000 meters of drilling by IAMGOLD. You got New Pit, which is on the embankment of the Tapanahony River. And then a kilometer down the road, you got Puketi, the Puketi pit. And that's the pit that we sampled about 2 months ago, which returned about 80 grams, 100 grams of high grade samples in the walls and also in the underground. So there's underground workings there. They're currently mining 20 to 30 meters deep, 4-meter wide chambers. So that gives you a bit of an idea in terms of how rich or how wide the vein is that they're chasing. So the initial drilling that we're going to do is going to be at Randy's. We currently have about 6,000 meters mapped or planned there. We got the drill is over the hole. There's another drill on site, which we have to get to site before the dry season starts. As you can imagine, using the river system, getting stuff to site gets complicated over the summers or the dry seasons. So we shipped everything out, everything's there, everything's ready to go. If you go to page 11, that gives you an idea of so this is the New Pit. The one here on the river is New Pit. And that still has 3 to 4 grams in the walls, completely abandoned by the locals. Locals have no interest anymore. But as an explorer, 3 grams is a very good start. So that will definitely see some more work. The excavator will start trenching between New Pit and Puketi, which is about 900 meters, to get us a better understanding of what we might have. On page 12, that gives you an idea of what Randy looks like. So this is the first, as I said, the first drill target. You can see the guy over there with his excavator. That's a very current picture. And look at this pit. Look at this pit. This guy has been working this for 5 years. And as you can see, the walls don't look very stable, but he's still going at it. And the 4,000 meters there is on page 13. You can see a cross-section of what IAMGOLD did. So 13 meters at 4 grams, 10 meters at 5 grams. There's a bit of a spike there at 39 grams. This obviously needs a follow-up. And the first couple of holes, the first 3 holes will be alongside these red zones where the intersections are. And then we'll do some step outs and close the spacing. So the current spacing is about 200 meters, which is very wide. So there's enough to do there in the next 2 to 3 months to give us a better understanding of the geology. On page 14, you can see what the LiDAR returned. So as I said, this was shot in December last year. The interpretation came back. On page 14, you see extensions to all these zones that we haven't been able to see with the naked eye. So the Randy pit is the one at the bottom of the photo of the image, and then you got the river running on the left, and that's the Puketi target or trend. New Pit being on the river, Puketi a bit further down. Alongside this, you see a red line above Randy and below Randy. an extension of that going through the river to the other side, and also an extension to the Puketi Trend. So this could be already 3 times larger than we thought. You know, we do need to do a lot of work on the north and south of Randy, and obviously need to work on this extension of the Puketi target here on the top left of the slide. So that'll keep the guys quite busy for the next couple of months. So this is the interesting bit over here on the left photo. You see a granite and the volcanics on the right. So this contact zone is the zone that you want to see. And as you can see, all the red dots over here, that's the mining of the locals, that's the locals. So this contact zone creates a very interesting mineralized zone, which Founders has, it runs through the whole Guyana Shield. Okra West is a good example of this also. This definitely requires our attention. And this contact zone runs all the way out of our concession into neighboring concessions. So we'll keep following this granite and the volcanics here on the right. The Randy pit, the Puketi pit. And here you can see all the things that we have uncovered recently. So we've got Enard North, Enard South, which are areas that are currently being mined by locals. We've got the South Intrusion, which is an extension of Randy, which we uncovered recently. And on the top left, that white little thingy here is the West Puketi, and that's what you can see on page 16. That was uncovered by LiDAR too. But more importantly, all the way to the east, Enard North and South, were areas that we didn't really know about, didn't have time to do any work on last year. And we went there earlier this year and uncovered, as I said, lots of workings from locals, which we're going to follow up on. So currently 6,000 meters planned, as I said, at Randy's. Depending on the holes, the first 3 to 5 holes will amend, adapt, change angle to get a better understanding of how and what. The program will, depending on how and what, will take 4 to 5 months. And that gives the guys enough time to also do some work on the Puketi trend on the other side of the river. It'll give guys some time to work on the north and south structures that we found alongside Randy. And in this figure here are the initial drill holes. The red dots here are the initial drill holes on this fence, which is basically, as I said, the follow-up of the iron gold drilling. So on the back of our fundraising, or fundraise, we've got 60 million shares outstanding on slide 19. 60 million shares. We're all well incentivized. All the options are with management and people in Suriname. We had to issue some founder warrants, obviously, to people that helped raise the money. Important, I think, is that we picked up Mackenzie. Mackenzie Investments gave us, took a big slug of that book, 1832, big slug. We've picked up a couple of other institutions. We've got 9 Point, who subscribed, Gold 2000 or Conwave, gave us a decent amount of money, APAC out of Hong Kong. So we've picked up 5 or 6 institutions in this round, although we're still quite small and we haven't even started yet. We picked up a very decent support. In terms of
and besides the metals group, the Mackenzie and 1832, they're just new on this most recent financing.
1832 participated in the initial round.
Okay.
They bought 9% in the initial round. They did participate in this round too. Yeah. Mackenzie is a new investor.
All right, that's great.
The fund is run by a Dutch guy, actually, which is quite good.
All right.
But in terms of management and talking about Dutch, we're all Dutch speakers. We've all been in country for quite some time. We know the mentality. We speak the language. That's certainly helpful in a country that is 100% Dutch speaking. When they
and just for historical background for viewers, Suriname is a former Dutch colony, so it has that culture.
Yeah. When it gained independence in 1975, they decided to copy everything that Holland had. Civil law, Dutch civil law, road signs, school buses, everything came from Holland. And there's been a good, KLM flies to Suriname 7 days a week. So there's still very good ties with the Dutch, the people, the government. So yeah, that's all. It's a good country to operate in. It's small. Population is tiny. It's about 600,000 people. And I think we've got about 500,000 Surinamese in Holland as well. But no, the relationship between those countries is good. It's good to operate in. It's easy to operate in. And being Dutch law or a copy of that, certainly helps. Rais has been with Gold. He was at Founders. He worked at OMI in Guyana, together with Dennis Lapointe. Dennis Lapointe, as I said, has been there for 26 years. Has started many projects in Suriname. And this is my second project in Suriname. On slide 21, John Williamson, impressive guy, obviously the founder of Founders Metals, but also many other companies. Heads up the Metals Group out of Edmonton. They were the ones that gave us our initial money to get started towards the end of last year. Mario Stefano, lots of experience in Guyana Shield 2, was involved with OMI, was involved with one or two other private companies in Suriname. He decided to jump on and help out. John Alcock, CFO, part of the Metals Group, or associated with the Metals Group. And then Ron Shenton from Vancouver has been very helpful with the capital markets. That is what we're trying to achieve. We're trying to see if we can create something that Founders has created, or what Miata is trying to do now. It's Suriname, as I said, is one of the few countries that has so much opportunity still. And I think with the team, the management team or the executive team, plus the non-execs or the directors, and the contacts that we have in country and the concession holders that we've been close to for many years, there might be some other opportunities that we could pursue at some point. But we're going to focus on Tapanahony first.
Yeah, it's a large project. So you've got a lot of...
it's 29,000 hectares, that'll keep us for a couple of years for sure. Absolutely. Yeah.
The ground there, you've done a lot of geophysics. Is there a lot of showings, or is it covered by...
Not much. No.
Okay. So
no,
you really have
much.
to... But I guess because there's so much artisanal mining there, you have a good sense of kind of what's near below surface. And then with geophysics and the prior work that's been there, you've got a reasonably good sense of what's going on.
Absolutely. I mean, there are tons and tons of artisanals mining this property, and it's just flying over with a helicopter to find out where they've popped up, land, take some samples, talk to them, and follow up on what they're doing. And that's basically the new pit, for example, the one that is close to that tiny little pit that's been abandoned. That was found by a local farmer who wanted to plant cassava. So he was digging a hole to plant the seeds or the root, and he bumped into gold, got himself an excavator and started mining it. It is incredible to see the amount of gold mining going on in that country. As I said, 1,000 kilos a month gets produced by artisanals.
Yeah.
A lot of it coming from people from Miata, Founders, us. Every well-to-do Surinamese has a concession. They're easy to get. You need to apply for it with the government. You get a 3-year exploration license, which you can extend twice. And then you obviously do need to submit documents to the government, to the mining ministry, that you're actually doing work and exploring and all that kind of stuff. But if you play by the rules, it gets extended, it gets converted into exploitation at some point. Yeah, as I said, it's a very good country to operate in. The
Randy pit, that and the mining that's going on there is quite impressive. It's obviously very small scale, but at the same time, the guy's got his excavator and has moved a lot of dirt over the years. How are you working with locals like that? That's his job. Presumably, it's giving him some kind of good, or it's a good enough economic return for him that he keeps going back to it. Are you going to be pushing him off of there? Or could that create stress with the locals? Are you going to offer him a job so that he works there as well, or sort of quote buy the rights off him? How are you going to do that so that because a lot of artisanal mining is going on. These are essentially jobs so that these people don't become jobless.
Yeah, no. So we're not going to push people off. These are people that are part of local community. So the Puketi village, for example, is about 200 people that live on that village. Not a lot, but various of them are working with us. They're helping out. We got 2 ladies who are doing all the cooking and maintaining the camp. We've got the laborers, all locals that are building the core shacks and everything. So we keep them involved, and we're certainly not going to push off people. We have to work with them. We're using this guy's excavator, by the way. So we got 2 excavators, one on the other side of the river, on the Puketi side, and this excavator is on the Randy side. Getting stuff across the river is all fine. We had to build a bit of a bridge, but no, we involve the locals, and we're not going to touch what they're mining. They mine what, 20 meters deep, maybe 30 if they're lucky. And this, for example, so talking about the local miners. So the saprolite on the Randy side is approximately 50 to 60 meters, which is quite a big chunk. So let him open up, clear the bush, open it up, follow what he wants to follow, and we'll just start poking some holes underneath it.
Okay. So you're going to be able to do this. Obviously, you need to make a little bit of room for each other, but you're obviously going deeper than 20, 30 meters, and you guys can kind of live harmoniously there together.
Yeah. We'll ask him to clear, if we want to poke a hole underneath his excavator, he'll have to clear that for a couple of days or a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
But no, we are in touch with all of them. We want to go through various krutus with the village. A krutu is a village get together. We had to get our blessings. The drill team had to be blessed. The drill had to be blessed. Various meetings in town also with all the local elders, or the captains as they call them. It's going well, and there's good enough local support. We've got a community relations lady who came from Newmont. She's helping us out too. The government also wants to see that, officially they have no rights because the rights are held with the concession owner. But, we're not there to upset people. We need to work with them. They've been helping us out, and they've been very, very, very good. Yeah.
All right. So in the first phase here, which is the Randy where you're targeting, how deep are you planning on drilling there?
150 meters.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Is it going that deep given the information from prior drilling that's gone there, and then there doesn't seem to be much below the 150 meter level?
No, there's so far as we can tell, IronGold didn't go that deep, but we'll just poke a bit further just to see if something new pops up. So, 150 meters. So, I forgot to tell you this. So we own our drills. We got 2 drills, 2 hydrocores shipped in from Canada. So our drilling costs are going to be quite reasonable. We got the driller that did the initial 20,000 meters at Founders. He came with the project, or actually with Metals Group's investment, Kelly Johnston. So he knows the saprolite well, and eager to go. Eager to get.
At Randy's pit, do you have a sense or what grades they're being pulled out there right now?
No.
Okay.
No, but the fact that you can still find 80 grams in a pit wall, or 3 on the new pit on the other side of the river, The fact that the guy's been there for 5 years and is still eager to continue means that he's pulling out some decent stuff from the saprolite, from
For sure.
the top layers. Yeah.
Okay. And when you do your drilling, is there a good sort of assay infrastructure in Suriname, or what is the turnaround time going to be for things like that?
So you've got a lab in Suriname called Philop, and Philop is the only lab, or actually, it's a very good lab. It's used by Newmont. It was used by Iron Gold when they were there, so it's currently used by Zijin, founders. Yeah. Everyone uses it. So the turnaround times are between 6 to, when they're busy, maybe 14 days.
Yeah.
There's no funny business that we need to send stuff off to Chile or Guyana or Colombia or even Canada. It's a very good lab. One of the consultants that we work with has worked with them before. So there's no issues or concerns regarding the lab.
Okay.
So hopefully, if things go well, we can entertain the market in every fortnight maybe, or every 3 to 4 weeks.
Will you be expanding the drill team?
When we fire up the second drill, we will have to add some people. So there are currently 12 guys, drillers, technicians, helpers, and all that kind of stuff on rotation. If Randy will give us a decent amount of work. Sorry, will give the drillers a decent amount of work. If we decide to fire up the second drill on the other side of the river to go after Puketi and New Pit, which will be maybe 2-3 months from now, maybe 4 months from now. We're not going to rush things, but then we'll have to add drillers. Yeah.
All right. Do you have a sense as to what the minimum grade the artisanal miners use as a cutoff for their small mines?
I mean, their recovery is minimal. Okay. I don't know. It'll probably be more than 10, 12, 13, 50 grams. No idea. No idea.
Yeah. All right. Okay. And are there several pits along the 4.5 kilometer trend that are currently being mined?
Yeah, Puketi, okay. And a bit further down Randy, there's a new guy that showed up.
Yeah.
There's still activity. The only one that has been abandoned is New Pit.
Yeah.
And actually, Puketi on the other side, these guys are going underground.
Yeah.
Raiz went into a couple of their shafts, and these guys are, they're risking their lives to chase that vein. Raiz went into one of the chambers, and one of those chambers is 4 meters wide.
Wow,
that's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
It says 28 meters deep and 4 meters wide.
Wow.
So there's enough stuff there to keep going on the ground.
Yeah,
and that's
the don't want to be around there during rainy season, I guess. Jeez.
No, exactly. No, you got to be a bit careful. So, and rainy season is almost ending. It's getting a little bit drier. So, I mean, the river dropped about 3 feet in the last 2 or 3 days. So, lucky to have all the stuff on site, including the second drill. Enough diesel, enough gasoline. Everything is there. We don't need to worry about new shipments over the dry season.
Another audience question here. I understand Oscar was involved in the identification and development of Miata Metals project. Miata's first few holes didn't hit gold as expected. How do you feel Sranan's project is similar or different to Miata's, and how are you approaching it differently?
That's a good question. So Jaap and his team took a completely different approach, and they're going at it. They're continuing their work. I think they're doing 10,000 meters too. I think yesterday's Miata release was good, but like Tapanahony, Selakriki does have a lot of artisanal mining. It's got some very decent drill holes done by Hunter Bay many years ago. I think Hunter Bay was 2011, 2012. So yeah, Jaap and his team obviously need to see what they're doing and how they're approaching it. But we're just at least following up, as I said, on the Iron Gold holes. and
Yeah.
looking at the grades that they found in that, you know, let's follow up on this first. There's enough to go on these holes, on these 6 fences they have. So the initial iron gold stuff was done over about 600 meters.
Yeah.
So there's, you know, and the spacing is quite wide. So we need to see what is in between those initial holes. So that will take up a couple of meters. Then by the time that we want to turn on or switch on the second drill, you know, Puketi or new pit towards Puketi will have been done in terms of geology and holes. So, and maybe not all holes will be 150 meters deep, but the initial ones, especially ones that are drilled here at Randy, 150, that will give us a good, decent understanding of the geology.
All right. So, Oscar, any final words or thoughts to leave investors with before we wrap it up?
This could be quite an exciting story for the next year or two.
Yeah. Well, you have lots of news with all the drill holes.
Well, also that, and also, you know, the geology, we share the geology with Founders.
Yeah.
Yeah, and look what Founders has become. You know, Miata's in a similar situation. You know, even if we do half of what Founders has done, you know, we're all sitting on a decent return. The drillers flew in yesterday. They had a couple of days off after putting everything over the hole. So they took 3-4 days off, flew in yesterday. Raiz flew in this morning with geologists. So off we go, and let's see what we can do over the next 6 months.
Excellent. Oscar, thank you very much for the presentation and the overview. Lots of news flow coming up. So definitely, and you're well cashed up from your recent financing, so you can get a lot of work done here. It should be very interesting. Yeah. Thank you very much. Talk to you again soon, and have a great day.
Thank you, Martin. Bye.
Bye.
Ciao, ciao.